In the quiet moments when the world's noise dims and you're left with your own thoughts, there's a whisper that haunts you, a sense that life is slipping by quietly as you remain tethered to a system that rewards niceness over authenticity. Society has cleverly woven a narrative that celebrates compliance, turning strength into submission and charisma into conformity. It's a system designed to keep you distracted, endlessly scrolling past your potential, and it thrives on your unwillingness to disturb the status quo. Yet deep within, there's a flicker of defiance, a small voice urging you to break free. Imagine a life where your choices are not dictated by fear, but by a burning clarity of purpose. It is not in comfort that greatness is forged, but in the courageous confrontation of your deepest fears. Each step toward discomfort is a step toward growth. The world might tell you that safety is the ultimate goal, but real transformation lies in the embrace of the unknown. Your strength is born from conviction, the understanding that every decision you make shapes your destiny more than talent or chance ever will. Tethered, not by chains, but by expectations that demand your compliance. You see, the system thrives on your niceness, on your willingness to blend in rather than stand out. It whispers that obedience is virtue, that the path of least resistance is the one worth taking. Yet deep inside you feel the friction of a life half-lived. This conflict, this inner turbulence, is your soul resisting domestication, yearning for the wild pursuit of true purpose. Consider the moments you shy away from discomfort, choosing instead the fleeting comfort of conformity. Real growth, however, lies in the embrace of discomfort, in confronting fears with clarity and conviction. It is here in the cauldron of challenge that strength is forged. Do not be deceived by the allure of ease, for it is in the struggle that transformation begins. True strength is not the absence of fear, but the presence of purpose. Decisions, not circumstances, shape your destiny. Step boldly into the unknown, where the only thing waiting is the person you are meant to become. This gentle whisper of conformity is the lullaby that rocks you into a slumber of mediocrity. It paints a facade of contentment, a mirage that promises peace but delivers stagnation. As you strive to be agreeable, to fit in, the wild, untamed strength within you is suffocated. You find yourself trapped in a polished shell, fragile and unfulfilled. Yet within this quiet desperation lies a powerful truth. The system wants you meek because it fears your potential, your ability to challenge, to disrupt, to create anew. In the depths of discomfort lies the seed of transformation. When you dare to step beyond the familiar, to face the raw edges of fear and uncertainty, you awaken to a realm where true strength resides. It is here amid the chaos that clarity emerges, that the heart learns its own rhythm. This path of courage and conviction is not for the faint-hearted. It demands a fierce commitment to your purpose, a relentless determination to carve your own destiny with bold strokes of decision. As you strive to fit into the mold, to satisfy the expectations of a world that values compliance over courage, you lose sight of the fire within. It begins as a flicker, a small voice that questions, is this all there is? Yet the system is clever. It rewards your obedience with the comfort of routine, the illusion of security. But in the quiet corners of your mind, you know that comfort is the enemy of growth. Every moment spent in the safety of the known is a moment sacrificed at the altar of potential unrealized. Imagine standing at the edge of a vast forest, the path before you tangled with uncertainty and challenge. To step forward is to confront the unknown, to embrace discomfort as a necessary companion in your quest for strength. It is here, in the shadows of discomfort, that you begin to forge the clarity needed to break free. Confrontation becomes not an act of aggression, but a declaration of intent. With conviction, you carve your path, igniting purpose with each step, shaping a destiny not dictated by chance, but by the power of your decision. But as you silence that flicker, the world seems to applaud. It rewards you with nods of approval for playing its game, for blending in. Yet each congratulation feels hollow, each handshake empty, for deep down you know there is a part of you screaming for more. This is the system's greatest trick, to have you believe that niceness and compliance equate to success. But beneath that veneer lies a dangerous complacency, a slow erosion of the soul's true desires. You see, comfort is a seductive force, whispering promises of safety and peace. Yet real peace cannot be found in still waters. It is in the waves of challenge and the storms of growth where true strength is forged. Discomfort is not the enemy. It is the catalyst for transformation. To step into discomfort is to step into your power, to confront the world with clarity and conviction, not as a mere participant, but as a creator of your destiny, for it is purpose and the courage to decide that will shape the path ahead. For the reminder that you're just one of many in a system that values sameness over substance. This is where the subtle seduction of niceness takes root, convincing you that conformity will lead to belonging. But the truth, my dear seeker, is that niceness is a mask that hides your true strength, keeping you shackled to mediocrity. It whispers that peace is found in avoidance, that strength is measured by how well you please others, but this is the very illusion that weakens you. Real transformation demands that you break free from this deceptive harmony. It requires you to embrace the discomfort of standing out, of speaking your truth with clarity and courage, for it is in these moments of confrontation, when you choose conviction over compliance, that your true character is forged. The system wants you to remain passive, to seek comfort in the shadows, but real strength emerges from the heart of discomfort, where true growth and self-discovery reside. Peaceful waters. But beneath that serene surface lies a truth many fail to see. The system thrives on your compliance. It thrives when you trade your unique voice for a counterfeit version of contentment. Yet here is where the real journey begins. At the point of discomfort, the uncharted territory where true growth patiently waits. The path to transformation is not paved with comfort or docility. It demands courage to question, to disrupt, to rise above the murmur of mediocrity that surrounds you. Imagine standing on the precipice of change, where fear and opportunity collide. It is here, in this sacred space, that clarity becomes your compass, guiding you through the fog of indecision. Confrontation of self is not an act of aggression, but an act of liberation, freeing you from the chains of conventional niceness that hold you back. When you embrace conviction, you carve out a destiny sculpted by your own hands, not dictated by the whispers of a system that seeks to dilute your power. Imagine a puppet master pulling strings with a deft hand, knowing that each gentle tug keeps you in a dance you never chose. The system smiles at your compliance, lauding you for fitting into the mold it crafted. But here's the stark reality. Comfort is a cocoon, not a chrysalis. Growth, true and transformative, demands you stretch beyond the confines of niceness and ease. It demands you confront the edges of your complacency with courage. Picture yourself at the edge of a vast, unknown forest. Safety beckons you to stay in the clearing where every day mirrors the last. But the soul craves the depth of uncharted paths. Comfort whispers lies of sufficiency. But listen closely, and you'll hear the call of your potential urging you forward. To step into the shadows is not to succumb, but to rise, to discover resilience you never knew you possessed. Each decision you make is a brushstroke on the canvas of your destiny. It is not talent nor luck that defines your future, but the resolve to walk the unbeaten path. Embrace the discomfort of growth, for within it lies the seed of your greatest strength. Now, with conviction, choose to live not as a puppet to the system, but as the architect of your own destiny. As you shuffle through the corridors of life, you feel the weight of unseen chains. These are not the chains of iron, but those of expectation and silent conformity. The system thrives on your politeness, applauding your adherence to rules that stifle ambition and boldness. You've been taught that being nice means acceptance, and acceptance means success. But this is the illusion they sell you. The reality is, while you nod and agree, your true self is suffocating in the shadows. Consider the moment when a caterpillar decides to transform. It isn't a gentle process, it's a struggle against the cocoon that confines it. It pushes, strains, and fights until it emerges in a new form. Growth, real growth, demands that you confront your discomfort. You must realize that every moment spent in complacency is a moment lost to the mediocrity of the mundane. Discomfort is your ally, not your foe. It is the crucible in which your potential is forged. To break free, you must first see the chains for what they are, a prison of mediocrity dressed as security. You must refuse to be lulled by the sweet whispers of comfort, for they are the sirens that lead you astray from your true purpose. Clarity begins when you decide that enough is enough, that the life you've been living is not the life you were meant to lead. This decision, born from conviction, not convenience, is the spark of transformation. It is your declaration of independence from a system that seeks to keep you subdued. The corridors of your life have been meticulously designed to keep you marching in step, not with your own heart, but to the drumbeat of a system that craves your submission. It rewards your compliance with fleeting comforts, pacifying you with the illusion of progress. Yet, beneath this veneer, your true essence is suffocated, yearning for the freedom to navigate your own course. You are not meant to be a mere specter of your full potential, shackled by the fear of disrupting the status quo. Here is where the most profound shift begins. It is in the discomfort of challenging these chains that your growth finds fertile ground. When you confront the limitations placed upon you, you start to reclaim your power. Strength is not born from peace, but from the courage to face uncertainty and carve a new path. Your purpose, once a whisper, becomes a resonant call that shapes your reality, urging you to step into the unknown with conviction. This is your pivotal moment of transformation. In this labyrinth of expectations, many find themselves trapped in a cycle of niceness that stifles their true potential. You see, the system applauds when you're agreeable, when you follow the rules laid out, but what it truly fears is your awakening. It fears the moment you realize that comfort is a cage, not a shelter. It wants you docile, lulled into a false sense of security by the siren song of conformity. But remember, the path to real growth is seldom smooth. It is carved by those who dare to step into discomfort, for it is only at the edge of uncertainty that we discover our true selves. Imagine standing at the brink of a vast ocean, the waves crashing against the shore, each one a challenge calling you to wade deeper. The system would have you believe those waves are insurmountable, but strength is born in facing them head-on. It is in these moments that clarity emerges, when you confront the chaos and transform it into conviction. In making these choices, not out of fear, but from a place of purpose, you sculpt your destiny. Your talents are but tools. Your decisions wield the power to shape an uncharted future. Consider the man who drifts through life, his spirit muted beneath the weight of conformity. He has been taught that compliance is his shield, that niceness is his virtue, and in the shadow of these false idols, he forgets the power of his own voice. The system thrives on this forgetfulness, keeping him numb, distracted, and quietly impotent. It rewards his inaction with fleeting comfort, but at what cost? Beneath the surface of polite smiles and unspoken dreams, a storm brews, his true self aching to break free. Yet transformation begins at the edge of comfort, where fear and potential collide. Strength is born not in the heart that seeks peace at all costs, but in the one that confronts its own darkness, daring to defy the narratives that bind. It is in the relentless pursuit of purpose, the decision to step into discomfort, that destiny is forged. This is where the journey begins, where you must decide if you'll remain a cog in the machine or rise as the architect of your own fate. These teachings are no accidental design. They are the system's finest artifice, crafted to keep you placid and passive. You see, the world is far more comfortable with you as a predictable player, a cog in its great machine. And so it praises your niceness, your agreeableness, virtues that, while socially rewarded, quietly strip you of your power. But let me tell you, true growth, true strength, is never born from comfort. It emerges in the friction of discomfort, in the heat of the trials you dare to face. Imagine a sculptor chipping away at a rough stone. Each strike is deliberate, each removal essential in revealing the masterpiece within. This is the essence of your transformation. To confront the parts of you that the world has dulled with niceness, to clear away the debris of conformity, it requires clarity, a vision of what you could be if you dared to step into your own strength, unafraid of the confrontation it demands. Well-behaved actor in its tightly controlled drama. This is the system's unspoken promise. Remain in your assigned role, and we will ensure you never have to face the unknown. But deep inside, you feel it, don't you? That quiet whisper of dissatisfaction, the longing for a life beyond the script handed to you, it's there in the moments when you catch a glimpse of your own unexpressed potential, lurking beneath the surface of obedience. This is not a call to chaos, but a call to your own authenticity. True growth begins not in the comfort of conformity, but in the embrace of discomfort. The system thrives on your avoidance of challenge, feeding on your reluctance to confront your own fears. Yet it is precisely in these moments of unease that your muscles of resilience are forged. Strength is not birthed from compliance. It is molded in the fires of clarity, confrontation, and conviction. And though the path is uncertain, it is in this very uncertainty that your purpose is found, shaped not by talent or luck, but by decision and relentless pursuit. Yet a quiet pull of something greater, an echo in the distance that whispers of potential untapped and dreams unchased. This dissonance between where you are and where you could be is not merely a figment of your imagination, it is the soul's call to arms. Yet the system would have you ignore it, placating you with the comfort of small gratifications and the illusion of stability. It thrives on your reluctance to disturb the peace, on your willingness to settle for the ordinary instead of reaching for the extraordinary. But understand this, true growth does not blossom in the soil of certainty. It emerges from the crucible of challenge, the fiery trials that test your resolve and clarity. It demands you confront the very fears that keep you tethered to mediocrity. So step forth with conviction. Do not shy away from confrontation, for it is in these moments of acute discomfort that your purpose is forged and your destiny is shaped. The time for decision is now, the time for transformation is yours to claim. This dissonance, this silent yearning, is the very spark that the system fears. For a man who dares to acknowledge his discomfort is a man who begins to question the chains of niceness and compliance that bind him. You see, the world is all too eager to keep you tame, to reward you for fitting neatly into the mold it has crafted. It whispers sweet lullabies of comfort and conformity, soothing the restless spirit within you. But beneath the surface lies a truth that discomfort is the precursor to growth, the fertile ground upon which transformation stands tall. Imagine for a moment standing on the edge of a vast forest. Behind you lies the well-trodden path of safety, familiar and undemanding. Ahead, the woods beckon with the promise of discovery and the allure of the unknown. This is where choice becomes your most powerful ally. True strength emerges not from the ease of obedience, but from the clarity of your vision, the courage to confront your own hesitations, and the conviction to forge your path. The moment you question, you disturb the dust of your conditioned existence. The system, in its intricate design, thrives on your obedience, on your fear of stepping into the unknown. It rewards you for your niceness, your silence, and the ease with which you fit into its mold. Yet, beneath that facade of comfort lies a truth waiting to be unearthed, a truth that real growth is born not from compliance, but from the courage to confront discomfort. The system wants you weak because weakness is predictable. It can be managed and controlled. But strength, true strength, comes from knowing your purpose, confronting your fears, and standing firm in your convictions. It is in this space of raw honesty and clarity that your destiny takes shape, not by the hands of fate or luck, but by the decisions you dare to make. So rise from the ashes of niceness and let the world see the fire that burns within you, a beacon of transformation, unyielding and unstoppable. From the moment you were born, the system wove a tapestry of certainty around you, a soft cocoon that whispered promises of safety if you stayed neatly in line. But this is the comfort that sedates rather than liberates. As you navigate this maze, you begin to feel the quiet desperation pulsing beneath the surface of your daily routine. A longing for something more, something raw and unrefined, stirs deep within your soul. It's the call to break free, to step beyond the limits of your prescribed role. True strength, my friend, does not blossom from the fertile grounds of comfort. It is forged in the fires of discomfort, tempered by the winds of adversity. It demands clarity, a willingness to confront the shadows within yourself and the world. It requires conviction, a steadfast commitment to pursue your purpose with unwavering determination. This is the path less traveled, yet it is the path where transformation blooms, where purpose and decision sculpt your destiny more than any bestowed talent or luck. You find yourself lulled by the familiar lullabies of compliance, a soothing melody that encourages you to embrace mediocrity. Yet deep within, there's a part of you that yearns for more, a whisper of potential that refuses to be silenced. This inner voice is your true self, calling you to step beyond the confines of niceness that the world has imposed upon you. It's not that kindness is weakness, but that niceness often becomes a mask that hides your true strength and desires. Comfort, the seductive allure that holds you in its grasp, is the enemy of growth. Every time you choose comfort, you choose stagnation. The system rewards your obedience with temporary ease, but it costs you the vibrant life waiting just beyond your fears. You must confront this truth with clarity and conviction, for real strength is born in the fire of discomfort. Only when you dare to challenge the norm do you begin to forge a path of true transformation. The journey to greatness demands that you peel away the layers of societal conditioning to stand fearless against the tide of conformity. This is no easy task, but it is the only way to cultivate the power within you. Each decision, each purposeful step you take carves out the destiny that has been awaiting your claim. So look beyond luck and talent and anchor yourself in the resolve to become more than you ever thought possible. Your future is not a given. It is created by the courage to step into the unknown. You see, the system thrives on your compliance, on your niceness. It's a cunning trickster that rewards your obedience with just enough to keep you tethered, but never enough to truly empower you. This system, it's an architect of comfort, crafting a cage with bars made of routine and predictability. But within you, there is a quiet rebellion stirring, a call to break free from these invisible chains. The struggle is real, but so is the liberation that awaits when you dare to step beyond the confines of what is deemed nice. Consider the moments when you felt the most alive. Were they framed by comfort, or were they born from the crucible of challenge? Growth finds its way in the fertile soil of discomfort. It demands you confront the parts of yourself you've avoided, to stand firm against the tide of complacency. This is where clarity forms when you decide to confront rather than conform. Each step you take in defiance of the status quo nurtures the strength that the system so fears. It is not talent or luck that forges your destiny, but the unwavering decisions you make. Purpose is a compass, and with conviction as your guide, the path becomes clear. As the system whispers that you're safe where you are, listen instead to the roar of your own potential. Embrace the discomfort of growth over the comfort of stagnation. You must step into the unknown, driven by purpose, because the future belongs to those who dare to be more than just nice. It belongs to those who decide to be strong. This subtle seduction of safety has lulled many into a slumber of mediocrity. The system whispers, stay comfortable, stay small, and in doing so it dims the light of your potential. You feel this, don't you? The gentle tug of something greater calling you from beyond the cocoon of niceness. Yet, every time you dare to step out, there's a pullback, a reminder of the risks, the unknowns. But my friend, this discomfort is not your enemy. It is the very crucible of transformation. Imagine for a moment standing on the edge of a precipice, the winds of change swirling around you. One step forward can set your spirit free, but it demands courage. Courage to confront the illusions of comfort, to claim the strength that comes from struggle. You see, every decisive action, every leap into the unknown chips away at the chains designed to hold you back. Here lies your power. in the clarity to see beyond the horizon, in the confrontation of your fears, in the conviction to choose your path. Like a silent tug at your core, an itch beneath the skin that no amount of complacency can soothe. It's the part of you that knows there is more, that you are more, yet the system with its veiled promises of stability keeps you tethered to the ground, to sameness. It praises niceness as a virtue, yet what it truly seeks is compliance. In a world where conformity is celebrated, stepping out of line feels like rebellion. But herein lies your power. The path to true strength demands that you step into discomfort, for it is in the crucible of challenge that the real you begins to emerge. Imagine for a moment a life where you are not defined by the limitations imposed upon you, but by the choices you make. The path is not easy, nor is it meant to be. It is one of clarity. To understand who you are beyond the noise, to confront the fears that hold you back, and to wield the conviction that your destiny is yours alone to shape. This is not a journey of niceness, but one of authenticity and courage. The system may want you weak, but your spirit longs to be strong. Stand firm in the decision to grow and let it transform you. Assurances whispers the opposite. It lulls you into the siren song of good enough, painting the illusion of stability while chaining potential within gilded cages of sameness. It rewards niceness, the quiet compliance that keeps the wheels of the mundane turning. You are praised for fitting in, for not rocking the boat, but in doing so, your spirit shrinks, suffocated by the very comfort that promises peace. Yet, within this false serenity lies the seed of dissatisfaction, a quiet rebellion yearning for more than this monotonous dance. To grow, you must dismantle this facade, stepping into discomfort where true strength is born. It's in the fires of challenge, not the cushions of ease, that resilience is forged. Confront the horizon of your fears with conviction, for it is here that purpose finds its voice, urging you onward. Your journey is not defined by talent or luck, but by the clarity of your vision and the decisiveness of your actions. You shape your destiny, not by being nice, but by being authentic and relentless in pursuit of your truth. The journey to power isn't paved with easy choices or smooth roads. It's marked by the decision to step into discomfort, to confront the parts of yourself that cling to comfort like a child to a familiar blanket. Growth whispers from the edges of fear, calling you to stand firm in conviction, to act with purpose. It is here at the brink of uncertainty that you find the strength to craft your own destiny, no longer a pawn on the board, but a player shaping the game. You may lose the fierce edge that once defined you, the spark that dared to dream beyond the accepted script. Picture a man in a crowded room, nodding along, never making waves, his voice lost in the hum of conformity. He has learned the art of pleasing, of blending into the fabric of what the world expects of him, yet inside he feels the quiet ache of a life unlived. This is not the path to greatness, but to gradual erosion. While the system applauds his niceness, it quietly erodes his potential to stand tall, to challenge, to become who he is meant to be. True strength is born not from the comfort of acceptance, but from the crucible of challenge. It is in the moments when you stand alone, when you face the whispering doubts and dismiss them with conviction, that you forge the steel of your character. Real growth demands risk, demands that you confront the systems that seek to keep you tame. Only then can you truly become the architect of your destiny, driven not by the superficial rewards of niceness, but by a purpose forged in fire. In the hushed confines of that crowded room, your essence begins to fade. You're a specter drifting through life, lulled by the siren song of complacency. The system, you see, finds comfort in your silence, in your willingness to blend. It rewards the obedient, the amenable, yet each concession chips away at your spirit. The price of fitting in is steep, the erosion of your true self. Picture the man who never questions, who never strays from the path laid out before him. He is safe, yes, but at what cost? His dreams, surrendered at the altar of convenience, lie dormant, waiting for the moment he dares to reclaim them. Consider now the path of discomfort. It is rocky, unpaved, and fraught with uncertainty. Yet within that chaos lies the seed of transformation. Real growth, true strength, emerges not from the cocoon of comfort, but from the crucible of challenge. You must confront the voices that whisper doubt, the fears that bind you. Only through such confrontation can you forge the clarity and conviction necessary to chart your own destiny. Silence. It rewards your quiet compliance, nourishes itself on your subdued potential, and applauds your willingness to shrink into the shadows of mediocrity. But deep within you there is a spark that longs to defy, a voice that yearns to be heard. You feel it during moments of stillness, when the noise of the world momentarily fades, leaving you alone with your whispering doubts and burgeoning dreams. In this dance with complacency, each step is a choice between the familiar rhythm of conformity and the bold, unpredictable movements of authenticity. The system thrives on your reluctance to disturb the harmony of predictability. Yet transformation begins where comfort ends. It demands you to confront the narratives that bind you, to question the paths laid out before you, and to carve a new trail forged by your own convictions. Your purpose is not a distant star waiting to be wished upon. It is an ever-present force waiting to be claimed. By stepping into discomfort, you reclaim your strength. By daring to choose differently, you sculpt a destiny that is yours alone to command. Wants to leap into the light. This spark, however flickering, yearns for the warmth of its own boldness. You've felt it before, haven't you? That restless whisper in your soul that refuses to be ignored. Yet somewhere along the way, you've been taught to suppress it, to keep it tidy, unthreatening. Society tells you to be nice, to play it safe, to blend in. But niceness without strength is a brittle shell, easily cracked by the pressures of life. The system benefits when you conform, when you choose the path of least resistance. But true transformation, real growth, arises from the courage to confront the discomfort, to push against the grain of what is expected. This journey is not for the faint-hearted. It demands a clarity of vision, a willingness to face your fears, and a conviction that your destiny is not pre-written by others, but forged by your decisions. As you stand on the brink of change, understand that it is discomfort that breeds resilience, and it is purpose that fuels the fire of your potential. The system may want you weak, but you, my friend, were born to be more. Ants. You sense the friction between who you are and who you're destined to become, yet the world around you conspires to snuff out that flame. It praises your niceness, your compliance, until these virtues become shackles. But deep inside, you know the truth. Growth is born in the fires of discomfort. It is forged in moments when you face the fearsome unknown and step forward anyway, when you stop playing it safe and start confronting your own doubts with courage. Picture yourself at the edge of a dense forest where every tree seems to echo society's whispers. Stay put, they murmur. Don't stir the waters. Yet beyond lies an untamed wilderness, the path to your true strength. Here clarity becomes your compass, guiding you past the fog of indecision. It is this clarity that demands you to confront your own resistance, to shatter the illusions that have kept you bound. For it is only through decisive action, not passive waiting, that you carve your destiny. Qualities become shackles, binding you to a life of mediocrity. You see, the system thrives on your submission. It gifts you comfort, trivial distractions, and the illusion of security, a potent mix designed to keep you docile. But deep within, beyond the layers of socially engineered niceties, lies a dormant strength yearning for release. This strength is raw, untamed, and it doesn't care for the comfort zone. It exists to challenge and provoke, to push you towards the edge of what you believe is possible. Imagine standing at the precipice, the wind of change tugging at your resolve. Below, the safety of familiarity beckons, while above, the expanse of yet-to-be-discovered potential calls. It's here, in this moment of stillness amidst the chaos, that you must decide. Will you retreat into the facade of niceness that the world celebrates, or will you confront the discomfort, the fear, and the unknown to claim the life that answers to no system but your own? Your decision is your power. In the dim corners of your comfort zone, where the shadows of mediocrity whisper sweet nothings in your ear, you find a false refuge. The system applauds your complacency, patting you on the back for not challenging the status quo. It knows that by keeping you docile, it ensures its own survival. You see, the world is expertly crafted to reward compliance, not courage. Society dangles the carrot of acceptance and ease, hoping you'll settle for a lukewarm existence. But deep within, a restless spirit stirs, yearning for something more. It's the part of you that remembers what true strength feels like, raw, unfiltered, and unafraid. Real growth does not come from the cushion of conformity, but from the discomfort of daring to be different. It demands you to confront your fears, to stand tall against the tide of timidity, and to make decisions that forge your path. This moment right here is your call to arms. The world may tempt you with softness, but your destiny awaits in the crucible of challenge. It's time to embrace the unease, to become the architect of your fate, and to let purpose guide your every step. Remember, transformation is not a passive act. It is a deliberate choice fueled by clarity, confrontation, and conviction. In these quiet moments of seduction by the mundane, you find yourself lulled into a trance of safe predictability. This system, with its cunning facade, rewards you for staying in line, for nodding in silent agreement with the chorus of the average. But beneath this comforting embrace lies a subtle betrayal of your true potential. It's a cunning dance of conformity that keeps you tethered to the ground when you were meant to soar. The applause for your obedience is but a siren's song, luring you away from the shores of your true self. To break free, you must willingly walk into the storm of discomfort. You must leave behind the shelter of niceness that the world so conveniently admires. Strength doesn't grow in the fertile soil of easy days. It hardens in the furnace of challenge. It's here, in this arena, that you must confront the illusions fed to you since youth, the lie that comfort equals happiness. For true fulfillment begins where comfort ends, in the wilderness where you forge your own path. Agreement, and for trading your wild ambition for a gentle, monotonous dance of routine. It applauds your niceness, your willingness to conform, as it quietly strips away the essence of your true self. You feel an unsettling whisper in your soul, a nagging sense that something vital is slipping through your fingers. The system thrives on your hesitation, delighting in the way it holds you in the palm of its hand, convincing you that safety is synonymous with success. Yet, deep within, a spark ignites, a memory of a time when you dared to dream beyond boundaries, when you were bold enough to confront the chaos of the unknown. Now, as you stand at the precipice of transformation, you must summon the courage to confront the comfort that binds you. Real growth demands that you shed the skin of obedience and step into the arena of your fears. It is here, in the space between what is and what could be, where clarity emerges and conviction is forged. You wield the power to define your destiny, to choose purpose over passivity. The system may want you weak, but you, my friend, are stronger than it could ever imagine. Imagine for a moment the silent theater of your daily life. Each scene is well rehearsed. You play your part to perfection. Yet beneath the applause of conformity, a whisper grows louder, a yearning for more, a rebellion against the scripted niceties. This is not merely a quest for greatness, but a call to reclaim what the system has subdued. It's about peeling back the layers of imposed gentleness to reveal a core of resilience and authenticity, buried but not broken. The system thrives on your compliance, rewarding bland predictability over bold originality. It creates a comfort zone, a velvet cage where niceness is mistaken for strength. But true strength lies in shedding this artificial skin. It resides in embracing discomfort, in challenging the monotonous dance with the rhythm of your own heartbeat. The discomfort is your ally, the birthplace of transformation, urging you to confront, to clarify, to step beyond the shadows of mere existence and into the arena of your potential. When you choose to confront this comfort, you make a decision that echoes through your destiny. Each step into the unknown carves out a path that was previously obscured. The system may have sold you safety and certainty, but within you lies a force that thrives on uncertainty, a force that yearns for the expansive unknown where true self-discovery resides. Purpose is not found. Purpose is forged in these moments of decision where courage meets clarity and conviction leads the way. This yearning is no mere flicker. It is the flame of your true self longing for expression. You find yourself in a labyrinth of expectations where niceness is mistaken for virtue and obedience is branded as strength. Yet deep down you know that this facade is but a shadow of the life you're meant to lead. Comfort is the velvet shackle that binds you, convincing you that the status quo is the pinnacle of achievement. But every whisper of dissatisfaction is a call to arms, a reminder that true growth demands departure from the well-trodden path. As you stand at this crossroads, feel the weight of the decision before you. The system would have you remain docile, compliant, but you are not destined to linger in the shadows. Confront the discomfort, for it is not your enemy but your guide. It beckons you to clarity, urging you to peel back the layers of niceness to reveal the raw, unyielding power within. In this moment, conviction must become your ally, and purpose your compass, steering you towards the life that awaits beyond the familiar horizon. Your badge of honor. Yet it is this very maze woven by the system that keeps you tethered to mediocrity. You have been taught that compliance is strength and gentleness, your shield. But deep within, a fire smolders, a fire that seeks to burn through the chains of conformity. You must not mistake acquiescence for peace, for it is in discomfort that the seed of growth germinates. Comfort zones are but padded prisons, lulling your potential into slumber. It is time to awaken to the truth that obedience may win you acceptance, but it will never earn you respect. Imagine for a moment breaking free from this loop, standing tall, allowing the discomfort to seep in, for it is not your enemy but your ally. It challenges you to confront your fears, to stand in the face of uncertainty, armed with nothing but your unwavering conviction. This is where transformation begins, beyond the horizon of niceness, where clarity sharpens your vision and purpose becomes your compass. The system may want you weak, but the power lies in your hands to choose strength. But deep within, there's a stirring, a whisper that refuses to be silenced. It's the quiet knowing that niceness, when stripped of authenticity, becomes a cage. The system has lulled you with promises of approval, of fitting in, but it demands a piece of your soul in return. You feel the tension, the quiet conflict between the life you live and the life you crave. This dissonance is your call to action, telling you that comfort is the enemy dressed as a friend. True growth begins when you acknowledge that discomfort is the soil where transformation takes root. It's in the moments of unease, when you confront your fears and break through the facades that have been woven around you, that real strength is forged. Clarity emerges not from passive acceptance, but from daring to confront the hard truths. The system wants you weak, compliant, but your spirit demands conviction. And in this space, between what is and what could be, lies your power. This promise, however, is insidious. It assures you that if you follow the rules, blend in, and do what is expected, you'll find happiness and success. Yet in the shadows of your obedience, a truth festers, conformity breeds weakness. The system celebrates niceness not because it values kindness, but because it averts challenge. And there, in the routine of appeasement, you lose sight of your own strength, becoming a spectator in your own life. Consider the discomfort that arises when you dare to step outside this narrative. It feels like standing on a precipice, the wind of uncertainty howling at your back. But this is where true growth begins. The unfamiliar, the uncomfortable. These are the crucibles of transformation. It's in these moments of unease that you find clarity. You confront not just what you've been told to be, but who you truly are. It's here that the foundations of conviction are laid. With conviction comes the power to choose, not the passive acceptance of what is, but the active shaping of what could be. Purpose becomes your compass, guiding each decision with unwavering resolve. It's not talent or luck that carves out a path to greatness. It's the steadfast decision to live authentically, to challenge the narratives that bind, and to embrace the discomfort that signals you're on the path of true strength. Break free from the illusion of nice. Forge a life rooted in the clarity of your convictions. Yet in the shadows of your obedience, a truth festers. The system thrives on your compliance, not your greatness. It rewards your niceness, not your strength. You see, the world is quick to praise the agreeable, the ones who nod and smile, the ones who do not disrupt the status quo. But beneath this facade lies a quiet desperation, an unyielding whisper that there must be more, and there is more. But it demands a different path, one fraught with discomfort and courage. When you step away from the comfort of compliance, you begin to see life through a different lens. It is not enough to be liked. You must be respected. Respect is born from authenticity, from standing firm in your convictions even when the world insists you bend. This is the crucible where true strength is forged. It requires clarity of purpose, a willingness to confront the uncomfortable truths that keep you tethered to mediocrity. Your growth depends on these moments of tension, where the decision to rise above the fray defines your destiny. They've conditioned you to believe that the path to success is lined with compliance, with head nods and quiet concessions. But this is the illusion they sell, the myth that keeps you tethered to mediocrity. The system wants you to be pleasant, to get along, to avoid ripples in the calm waters of convention. Yet beneath that placid surface lies the dormant power you possess, waiting to be unleashed. The world may applaud your niceness, but it is your courage and conviction that will carve a legacy. Consider the moments when discomfort knocked at your door. Did you retreat, cloaked in the safety of the known, or did you step into the storm, willing to confront the chaos? Growth is born not from the light of comfort, but from the shadows of challenge. When you choose to stand firm against the tide of conformity, you awaken the warrior within, the one who refuses to be subdued by mere expectations and instead sets his sights on the horizon of his own making. Purpose, you see, is the compass that guides you through the fog of complacency. It demands decisions that resonate with your soul, not the clamor of the crowd. Every choice, every moment of defiance is a step toward the destiny you design, shaped not by the luck of the draw, but by the sharp edge of your resolve. The journey is not for the faint-hearted, for it requires you to shed the skin of niceness and embrace the armor of tenacity. This path is yours to tread, with clarity as your guide and conviction as your companion. As you stand in the shadows of missed opportunities, realize this: the system thrives on your compliance, your nods of agreement, your silent surrender. It whispers that niceness is your strength, but in truth it is a chain. The world wants you docile, content with mediocrity, lulled into believing that grandeur comes from appeasement, yet beneath the surface your spirit longs to rebel against the confines of this placid existence. Imagine for a moment the discomfort of stepping beyond these familiar bounds. This is where true growth ignites. It demands more than just effort. It requires you to confront the unease, to face the whispers that tell you to stay small. This is not a call to abandon kindness, but an invitation to redefine it, to be kind to your potential, to be fiercely protective of your purpose. Strength is not bestowed upon you at birth. It is forged in the fires of conviction. Every decision you make is an act of creation, shaping your destiny, not through talent or fortune, but through the willingness to confront the comfortable lies. The world does not wait for you to be ready. It only waits for you to decide. It is a cleverly laid trap. Niceness is celebrated as virtue, but often it is nothing more than a chain binding you to mediocrity. You see, the system applauds those who follow, not those who rise. In the quiet corridors of your life, when you choose niceness over truth, you are choosing stagnation over growth. It is in the discomfort of confrontation, the vulnerability of being real, that true strength is forged. Like the seed that must fracture to let the sprout emerge, you must break through the facade of compliance to find the core of your conviction. Pause for a moment and look back at the paths you could have taken but didn't. Was it niceness that held you back? Was it the fear of disrupting the status quo that kept you anchored in place? True growth demands that you step into the chaos of potential, not cling to the false security of the known. It asks of you clarity, a focus sharper than any doubt, and a fierce resolve to chase the life waiting on the other side of your fears. Decide now to confront the discomfort and let purpose carve your destiny. I invite you to imagine a young man named Alex, who, like many, was taught to be agreeable, to nod, to smile, to say yes when his soul whispered no. He blended in, a shadow among shadows, never daring to disrupt the status quo, the world around him. A grand machine thrived on his compliance, rewarding him with fleeting comforts, but no true fulfillment. Alex was praised for his politeness, but overlooked in the boardroom, valued for his silence, yet forgotten in the conversation that mattered. Then came a day, as it inevitably does, when he found himself alone, confronted by the mirror of his own making. The reflection staring back was one of dissatisfaction, a life half-lived. It was then Alex realized that the system, in its cunning design, had molded him into something he was not meant to be: weak, invisible, unremarkable. It dawned upon him that true freedom, real strength, begins at the point of discomfort, where decisions are forged not by the expectations of others, but by the fire of personal conviction. Alex's life was a series of careful steps on a path paved by others, each one a compromise that dulled his spirit. Yet, beneath the surface, a discontent brewed, a restless whisper that challenged the status quo. The system had lulled him into a false sense of security, rewarding compliance with fleeting comforts. But this comfort was a cage, a velvet-lined trap that kept him from exploring the depths of his potential. It was on a quiet evening, staring into the twilight sky, that Alex faced a moment of clarity. He realized that the approval he sought from others was a leash, tethering him to mediocrity. To grow, he understood he had to embrace discomfort, to step into the unknown where true strength is forged. The path of least resistance had only led him further from his truth, and now he stood at the brink of transformation. With conviction, Alex began to confront his fears, to ask the hard questions that he had long avoided. Who was he beneath the veneer of niceness? What did he truly desire? As he delved deeper, his purpose emerged, a beacon guiding him away from the shadows. This was the beginning of a new journey, one defined not by obedience, but by the courage to forge his own destiny. Carefully constructed facade of his existence, Alex felt it, the gnawing realization that his reality was molded not by his own hands, but by the expectations and conveniences of the system around him. It promised safety, rewarding his compliance with its comforting predictability, but at the cost of his authentic self. This was the struggle, the tension between the life lived and the life imagined, each day blurring the lines of who he truly was and who he might have been. Yet, the more he capitulated to its demands, the more he realized that the facade was crumbling. His soul longed for discomfort, the kind that sharpens the senses and awakens dormant potential. But confronting this would mean relinquishing the illusion of niceness that kept him tethered to mediocrity. True strength, he began to see, is born not from acceptance but from the courage to challenge and redefine one's path. It requires a clarity that burns through the fog of indecision, confronting the uncomfortable truths that lie within. He realized that the system, with its dazzling promises and subtle coercions, had lulled him into a state of passive niceness. It had seduced him into believing that smooth waters were synonymous with success, while his deeper yearning for something greater quietly went ignored. Every day, Alex dressed in his armor of politeness, his opinions carefully curated to avoid friction. Yet beneath this facade, he could feel the quiet desperation of a life lived within boundaries drawn by others. What Alex needed was not another set of rules to follow, but the courage to confront the discomfort that lay within him. This was not just a moment of decision, but a call to awakening. The system wanted him pliable, bending to its whims. But true growth required stepping beyond the lines, beyond the comfort of niceness. In this discomfort, Alex began to see the contours of his own strength emerging, not a strength born of aggression, but one forged in clarity and conviction. With each step into the unknown, Alex felt a liberation from the shackles of imposed expectations. This journey was not about rebellion for its own sake, but about aligning with a purpose that was truly his. He discovered that destiny was not a matter of talent or luck, but of unwavering decision. To be strong was to live deliberately, to make choices that resonated with his own truth rather than the echoed desires of a world that preferred him docile. This was his path to authenticity, to transformation, safety, and success. But as he stood at the threshold of his own potential, he began to see the truth. The system cradles those who remain docile, who do not disturb the water, who fit neatly into their prescribed roles. It rewards compliance with comfort, but it is a comfort that cages. In this realm of the safe and predictable, the spirit grows weak, starved of challenge, starved of the very trials that forge greatness. He understood now that growth does not dwell within the confines of the familiar. It resides in the wild, untamed territory beyond, where uncertainty and opportunity collide. It is here that the timid find their voice, where the weak discover their strength. This is not a journey for the faint of heart, but a quest for those who dare to confront their own limitations, who refuse to be defined by boundaries they did not choose. Embrace the discomfort, he thought, for it is the crucible of transformation. Step into it not with fear, but with a fierce determination to carve your own path. The system may wish to keep you tamed and timid, but your destiny is shaped by the decisions you make, by the clarity of your purpose, and the strength of your convictions. True power lies not in the absence of struggle, but in the courage to face it head-on, knowing that every trial endured is a step closer to the person you are destined to become. Ra assigned roles. But consider this, a river that never challenges its banks cannot carve new paths. It merely follows the contours set before it. Similarly, when you're too agreeable, too willing to bend, you may find yourself swept along by the currents of others' expectations. This is how the system keeps you weak. It praises your compliance while quietly eroding your strength. It wants you to believe that harmony and gentleness will deliver you to the shores of success. But this is a mirage. True growth does not flourish in the soil of comfort. Imagine a seed buried deep in the earth. It is only through the forceful push against its confines that it breaks free and reaches for the sky. Likewise, your potential is unlocked not by remaining in shadows of passivity, but by the courage to confront your limitations. It is in the discomfort of the unknown that you will discover the clarity needed to navigate life's turbulent waters. Embrace this discomfort, for it is your ally. It calls you to rise, to decide, and to forge a destiny defined by purpose. Fit into the grooves that society has etched out for you. You forsake the power of self-definition. The world applauds your niceness, your compliance, as if these were virtues. But beneath the surface of that applause lies a quiet expectation that you will stay put, never questioning, never pushing against the tide. Your niceness, your yielding nature becomes the chains that bind you, and every concession you make tightens those chains. True strength is not in blending in, but in daring to stand out, to confront the expectations that confine. Consider the artist, who is told to paint within the lines, but chooses instead to create from the soul. Their work may not always be praised, yet it bursts with authenticity because it comes from a place of raw, unyielding strength. This is the essence of growth, to embrace the discomfort of going against the grain, of listening to that inner voice that whispers of purpose and possibility. In this confrontation, you find clarity. In clarity, you find the conviction to shape your destiny. Lurking beneath the surface of compliance lies a silent surrender. It's the subtle erosion of your true self traded for a fragile peace with the world. You see, the system, with its tight constraints and enticing rewards, is a master of illusion. It leads you to believe that niceness and obedience are your shields, yet they become your shackles. The applause you receive for fitting in only deafens the call of your inner strength, your untapped potential. In the hypnotic hum of routine, you might miss the quiet truth that growth is born from friction, not comfort. It's in the moments of raw discomfort where you confront your fears that real transformation begins. This is where clarity sharpens and conviction gains strength. Yet the system prefers you dull and compliant because a man of conviction is a force of nature. He cannot be contained nor easily swayed. He questions, he challenges, he moves with purpose. His life is not a passive alignment with external expectations, but a relentless pursuit of his own path, dictated by decision and a deep-rooted sense of purpose. The system, with its tight constraints, whispers a deceptive lullaby that promises security in exchange for compliance. It rewards those who nod along, who choose the path of least resistance, who confuse niceness with worth. Yet, beneath the polished facade of playing nice lies a stark reality, a life devoid of the fire that fuels true ambition. Think of the countless individuals who drift through their days, shackled by the comfort of routine, their true potential muffled by the fear of stepping out of line. But let me tell you, real transformation demands friction. It is born in the crucible of discomfort, shaped by the courage to say no to what no longer serves you. To break free from these invisible chains, you must embrace the discomfort that beckons at the edge of your comfort zone. See it not as something to avoid, but as the ultimate catalyst for growth. Consider the caterpillar, which must first endure the dark confines of its cocoon before it can soar as a butterfly. So must you confront your fears with clarity and conviction. The journey will not be easy. It will demand the fortitude to face your own resistance. But remember, the greatest strength is born not in ease, but in the moments when you stand firm against the tide. Purpose and decision, these are the twin forces that will shape your destiny far more than any stroke of luck or innate talent ever could. But let us not be lulled into submission by the siren song of comfort. Imagine for a moment the weight of 1,000 tiny decisions, each one a thread in the tapestry of a life that is not truly yours. The system thrives on your hesitation, on the moments you decide to step back rather than step forward. It crafts a narrative where niceness is mistaken for virtue, where obedience is rewarded with superficial stability. Yet beneath this veneer lies a subtle erosion of your inner fire, your desire to carve your own path. True transformation does not begin in the warm embrace of comfort. It is born in the crucible of discomfort, in the moments when you choose to confront the shadowy edges of your own potential, when you decide not to recoil from challenges, but to embrace them as the catalysts of your growth. Strength is not a gift bestowed. It is a discipline cultivated. It demands clarity of vision, the courage to face the tumultuous seas of uncertainty, and the unwavering conviction in your purpose. Picture yourself standing in a vast field, surrounded by the echoes of choices past. Each echo a whisper of roads not taken, dreams deferred, and the haunting pull of unmet potential. It is here, in this field of forgotten aspirations, that the system wants you to remain docile, compliant, and comfortably numb. The world will reward your obedience with fleeting approval, but at the cost of your own authentic power. This is the subtle art of control. A velvet chain binds you to mediocrity, masquerading as security. Yet within you lies a spark of defiance, a voice urging you to break free, to step beyond the familiar boundaries of niceness and take the bold path. True growth, my friend, is birthed not in the cradle of comfort, but in the unyielding forge of discomfort. When you confront your fears and stand unflinchingly in the face of uncertainty, you ignite the fire of transformation. Let this fire burn away the illusions that bind you, revealing the clarity of purpose and the strength to forge your destiny. A stillness that you must confront the reality of your own life. The system, with its quiet commands and subtle expectations, has taught you to be compliant, to blend in, to smile and nod while your spirit whispers for more. It has rewarded your niceness, your willingness to conform, and in doing so it has kept you from the discomfort where true growth thrives. You see, the path of least resistance is paved with mediocrity, a trap disguised as security, leading you away from your untapped potential. But growth does not dwell in ease. It is born in the fires of discomfort, where clarity pierces the fog of complacence. Here you must confront the lies you've been told that you should fit in, that quiet obedience is strength. Real power comes when you step out of line, when you stand firm in your own convictions. It is in these moments of confrontation, when purpose and decision align, that you redefine your destiny not by chance but by sheer unyielding will. Soul silently screams for something more. This system, shrouded in the guise of stability and predictability, whispers that niceness is your greatest asset. Yet beneath the surface, this niceness is a shackle, binding your potential with the iron chains of complacency. It rewards you for fitting in, for never pushing back, for choosing peace over passion. But deep down, you feel the tension between who you are and who you could be. This tension is not your enemy. It is your guide. It signals the dissonance between the life that is and the life that could be. Embrace it. In the discomfort, you find your compass. It points not to what is easy, but to what is essential. The strength you seek does not reside in the familiar. It lies in the heart of the unknown, demanding clarity and boldness to confront the world's illusions. Decide now that your journey is not shaped by the constraints of the present system, but by the expansive vision of your own purpose. In this decision, you forge a new destiny, unbound by the niceties of yesterday. A velvet chain binding you to a life of quiet resignation. It rewards you with superficial smiles and empty nods, all while the deeper parts of you yearn for authenticity, for a life rich in meaning and challenge. The system thrives on this niceness because it keeps you from asking the hard questions, from challenging the status quo. It keeps you comfortable in a cocoon of conformity. But, my friend, comfort is a cage, and true growth demands that you step into the discomfort of your own potential. Real strength is forged not in the warmth of acceptance, but in the fires of challenge and adversity. It's in moments of confrontation with your own limitations that clarity emerges, a clarity that cuts through the fog of societal expectations. Confrontation isn't about aggression. It's about standing firm, rooted in purpose, against the tide of mediocrity. This is where conviction is born, where you decide that your destiny isn't dictated by chance, but by the choices you dare to make. In the distance, you hear the faint whisper of your unrealized potential calling you out of the shadows of compliance. It beckons with the promise of a life not bound by the mundane, a life not confined by the expectations of others. Yet, the system's embrace is warm, lulling you into the false comfort of mediocrity. It substitutes real achievement with tokens of approval, convincing you that to be nice is to be enough. But deep inside, you know that true fulfillment does not come from being liked. It comes from being fully alive. The path to growth is rarely paved with ease. It is a rugged journey demanding you to step into the storm of your own fears. The moment you choose discomfort over convenience is when transformation ignites. It's in those moments you face your limitations, stare down your excuses, and decide that the cost of remaining the same is far greater than the risk of change. Strength is not granted, it is forged in the fires of your decisions, shaped by the clarity of your purpose, and fueled by the unyielding conviction to be more. Knit by the chains of nice, by the system's siren song of mediocrity. This system, crafted with precision, thrives on your quiet acquiescence. It rewards you for blending in, for keeping your head down, and for making nice your default setting. But niceness, when misaligned with your true purpose, becomes a prison. It keeps you compliant, a shadow of your potential self. And while you may tread softly, the world moves on, indifferent to the dreams you once held dear. You see, the system understands something crucial. Comfort is a cage. It lulls you into believing that safety is synonymous with happiness. But growth is born of friction, not ease. The moment you feel discomfort, you touch the edge of your own evolution. It is here in the unease where transformation begins, where you must decide to confront the doubts that tether you and step boldly into the light of your own conviction. This is the crucible of growth, where decision shapes destiny. But in the shadows of comfort, there lies a silent yearning, a flicker of something more. Yet the system fears this flicker, for it knows that within it burns the potential to ignite change. You see, true growth finds its roots not in the plush soil of complacency, but in the jagged terrain of discomfort. It is here at the edge of your comfort zone that your real journey begins. To break free, you must be willing to confront not only the world outside, but also the fears that whisper within. To step into your strength, you must first gain clarity, a sharp vision of who you are and who you wish to become. This clarity demands confrontation, both with the lies you've been told and the ones you've told yourself. It asks for conviction, a fiery determination to stand firm in your truth. Understand this: it is your purpose and the decisions you make in its pursuit that will carve out your destiny. This is not a path of ease, but one of relentless courage. You are not just a number, not just a cog in the great machine. You are a spark, a force of nature capable of reshaping your world. But the system whispers otherwise, seducing you with the lull of mediocrity, offering small rewards for silence, for niceness. It teaches you to bend and conform, to trade boldness for approval. Yet deep inside, there's a gnawing discontent, a quiet insistence that you are meant for more. The path to transformation is not paved with the soft cushions of comfort. It is forged in the fires of discomfort and daring. This is where true growth begins, not in the easy chair of complacency, but in the crucible of challenge where clarity and courage must be summoned. And as you stand at this precipice, know that steel is made strong by the hammer's blow, not by gentle caress. Your destiny waits for you to decide, to step into the unknown with purpose as your guide. It is not talent nor luck that will define your journey, but the choices you make when faced with resistance. Choose conviction over convenience, strength over submission, and watch as the world bends to the will of your resolve. The system lulls you into complacency with its soft whispers of mediocrity, assuring you that to stay small is to stay safe. It rewards those who slip seamlessly into obedience, who choose niceness over truth, yet deep within you there stirs a discontent, a quiet rebellion against the chains of comfort. You know that real growth does not dwell in the light of ease, but in the shadows of uncertainty. It is there, in discomfort, that the seed of your true potential lies dormant, waiting for the courage to confront the unknown. As you step into the arena of your own life, clarity becomes your weapon and conviction your shield. The world may urge you to conform, but you must resist the seductive pull of the familiar. Strength is not born from submission, but from the decisive act of standing firm in the face of fear. Your purpose is not a path laid out by the system, but a trail you blaze with every choice, every moment of resolve. Embrace this uncomfortable path, for it is here that the essence of your true self demands to be forged. But here stands the irony, stark and undeniable. The same system that lulls you into this slumber of niceness is the one that craves your unyielding strength. For beneath the surface, beneath the veneer of polite compliance, lies a quiet desperation, an unspoken hunger for power, for purpose, simmering in the depths of your spirit. The key to awakening lies not in the comfort of kind smiles and unchallenged routines, but in the fierce embrace of discomfort. It is only when you step into the fray, when you confront the chaos head-on, that true clarity begins to emerge. Consider this a call to arms, a gentle rebellion against the chains of mediocrity. Imagine the version of yourself that trembles not at the thought of confrontation, but finds in it a wellspring of conviction. This is not the path of least resistance, nor is it the easy road of passive acceptance. It is the journey of the resolute, the bold, those who dare to craft their destiny with decision and purpose, who refuse to be mere spectators of their own lives. For beneath the veneer of polite smiles and nods lies a world hungry for those who dare to disrupt the norm. The system, with its well-oiled gears, desires innovation, creativity, and raw determination, yet it crafts a comfortable cocoon around you, hoping you'll remain compliant and predictable. This paradox is precisely where your transformation begins. It starts with the discomfort of realizing that niceness, while seemingly benign, has kept you tethered to mediocrity. But there's a spark within you, a yearning for more, for the courage to challenge the status quo and to rise above the mundane. True growth demands you step into this discomfort, to confront the illusion of safety that niceness offers. It requires clarity to see beyond the expected and conviction to pursue a purpose that transcends mere acceptance. You must decide, not from a place of timid compliance, but from a bold vision of who you are meant to be. Your destiny is not shaped by talent or chance, but by the resolute decisions you make today in the face of life's relentless demands. Yet, the system thrives on predictability, rewarding those who blend into its tapestry of conformity. It whispers, "Stay nice, stay quiet," confusing meekness with virtue. Meanwhile, the courageous are painted as rebels, portrayed as outliers in a world that craves their fire. But here lies your challenge to break free from this cycle of comfort and complacency. True growth is not found in the shadows of safety, but in the bold embrace of discomfort. The real strength within you demands clarity over comfort, confrontation over retreat, conviction over conformity. Imagine yourself standing at the edge of a vast ocean where the waves of opportunity crash with relentless force. To venture into these waters means to confront your deepest fears, to dive into the unknown where your true self awaits. With each step forward, you weave your destiny, not by chance or talent alone, but through purpose-driven decisions. The path of transformation requires you to release the shackles of niceness, to stand tall in the chaos, and to declare your own revolution. Yet, the system thrives on predictability, rewarding those who blend into its tapestry of conformity. It whispers, "Stay nice, stay quiet," confusing meekness with virtue. Meanwhile, the courageous are silenced by this illusion of comfort. But let me tell you a story. A man once found himself shackled by the expectations of others. Every day he played the part assigned to him, nodding along, suppressing the fire within. His heart longed for something greater, something real. He knew that true transformation lay beyond the boundaries of niceness. So he took a bold step into the discomfort he had always evaded. It wasn't easy. He faced resistance both from within and without, but with each confrontation he discovered a strength he never knew existed. The decision to embrace his purpose reshaped his life, cutting through the noise of the system. And here lies your choice. Will you remain a spectator in your own life, or will you dare to embrace the discomfort that leads to true growth? The path of least resistance is not where greatness resides. Step into the unknown armed with clarity and conviction. Your destiny awaits not in the shadows of compliance, but in the light of your own courage and resolve. And so, as you stand at this precipice, the world around you seems to demand your compliance, your silence. It is a siren song that promises safety and sameness, lulling you into a false serenity. But beneath this veneer of congeniality lies a cunning design, a system that thrives on your complacency, rewarding the meek with the illusion of peace, while true strength languishes in dormancy. You must recognize the discomfort that simmers beneath the surface, for it is here in the crucible of unease that transformation begins. True growth beckons not in the comfort of the familiar, but in the tumult of challenge. To step into your power, you must confront the easy lies that bind you and embrace the dissonance that calls forth your potential. The path to real strength demands clarity and confrontation. It requires a conviction born not from chance or talent, but from deliberate choice. Purpose is not a gift. It is a decision. And with each step, you shape your destiny, daring to break free from the chains of niceness and to forge a life of meaning. But the siren song is a trick, a cunning disguise masking the bars of a cage. It whispers that the key to happiness is in your ability to blend in, to follow the rules and not make waves. Yet every moment you conform to this illusion, a piece of your true self fades into obscurity. You feel it, don't you? That gnawing sense that you were meant for more than this quiet resignation. Deep inside, a voice calls out, urging you to break free, to challenge the status quo and reclaim your power. To step into this unknown, you must embrace discomfort like a sculptor embraces clay. True transformation is forged in the fires of adversity, where clarity and conviction shape your character. It's here, in the tension between what is and what could be, that you discover a strength unyielding to the system's attempts to dilute it. As you face this crucible, know that the discomfort is temporary, but the growth it yields is eternal. This is your moment to rise, to choose purpose over passivity. Yet every time you conform, a small piece of your spirit is surrendered to the shadows. You were not born to fit the mold pressed upon you by a system that thrives on your submission. This system, with its polished facade, rewards the agreeable, the complacent, those who mistake peace for purpose. But know this, comfort is the enemy of growth. It lulls you into a false sense of security, hiding the potential that only discomfort can unleash. Imagine a warrior who never faced a battle, whose sword never tasted conflict. Would you call him strong? Would his armor glisten or rust? Strength is forged in the crucible of challenge, not in the gentle embrace of routine. To rise, you must be willing to confront the quiet desperation that whispers, "Stay where you are." Embrace the discomfort that comes when you decide to defy the expected, to blaze a trail that is uniquely yours. This choice, this confrontation, will not be easy, but it is yours to make. Its intricate mechanisms thrives on keeping you numb and compliant. Picture a vast machine well-oiled by generations of complacency, its purpose to churn out mediocrity wrapped in the guise of safety. But here's the deceptive veil. What it calls safety is the cage of your potential, the dulling of your spirit. You were designed to break free, to transcend the barriers of mere conformity. Yet the system rewards you for being nice, for playing along, not because it values you, but because it fears the force of your unleashed strength. Real growth, my dear listener, emerges not from the comfort of the known, but from the frontier of discomfort. It is where the soil of your soul is tilled by challenge and watered by determination. It's the road less traveled, the path that demands confrontation with your deepest fears and the clarity to recognize your true desires. This journey calls for conviction, a steadfast belief in the power of your purpose. In this crucible, the raw material of your being is forged into the steel of resolve. Picture a vast machine, well-oiled by generations of complacency, its purpose to churn out mediocrity wrapped in the guise of safety. This system whispers sweet lies of security and comfort, luring you into a gentle slumber of the soul. It rewards your obedience, your willingness to color within its lines, and paints a picture of niceness as the ultimate virtue. But what it fears most is the spark within you that refuses to dim. The fire that knows true growth begins where comfort ends. You must recognize this struggle within you, the yearning to break free from the chains of mediocrity. Strength is not born from ease, but from the crucible of discomfort. It demands clarity, the courage to confront your fears, and the conviction to stand tall against the tide. Purpose and decision are your true allies, shaping your destiny far more powerfully than talent or luck. So rise from the shadows of niceness, embrace the challenge, and become the architect of your own life, the system's greatest fear. It beckons like a siren, this system, promising a life devoid of risks, a path paved with predictability and approval. Yet beneath its polished surface lies a quiet desperation, a gnawing void that devours ambition and dulls the spirit. You may feel the pull, the seductive comfort of conformity, where being nice becomes a currency traded for temporary peace. But in this transaction, you sacrifice your strength, your very essence, for a mirage of tranquility. True growth emerges from the fertile ground of discomfort, a terrain where challenges are not obstacles but stepping stones. It demands that you confront the very fabric of your fears, to stand face to face with the unknown and proclaim your intent with unwavering conviction. This is where purpose is forged, not in the warmth of familiarity, but in the crucible of courage. It is the decisions you make in these moments, not the talents you were born with, that carve the path to your destiny. It whispers a lullaby of mediocrity, urging you to stay in line, to play it safe, to be nice. But niceness is a veneer, a coat of paint on a house built on shifting sands. Beneath lies fragility, a heart that beats to someone else's rhythm, a life dictated by the expectations of a system that values conformity over authenticity. It is this very system that applauds your compliance while shackling your potential, keeping you neatly within its confines, discouraging any thought of rebellion or self-assertion. But transformation begins where comfort ends. It is the discomfort that awakens your dormant convictions, the tension that breeds resilience and clarity. In stepping into the unknown, you confront the narratives that have held you back, the stories whispered in your ear by a world that fears your strength. The confrontation is not easy. It is a battle waged in the quiet corners of your mind, demanding courage and a steadfast belief in your purpose. Real strength is forged in the fires of clarity, where uncertainty dissolves into vision. It requires you to make decisions not born of habit, but of conviction, a commitment to the path that aligns with your inner truth, rather than the footsteps laid by others. Your destiny is shaped not by the whims of luck or the roll of a dice, but by your unwavering purpose and decisive actions. Stand in this strength and watch as the walls of limitation crumble, revealing the horizon of your true potential. House that cannot withstand the storms of life. The system tells you that conformity is safety, but in truth it is the cage that keeps you from your own potential. The struggle is relatable, isn't it? To be liked, to be accepted, to fit neatly into the expectations of others. But what if I told you that this very desire for approval is the thief of your power, the anchor that holds you in shallow waters when you were meant to sail into the depths? Picture the moment when a seed buried beneath the soil pushes against the earth that confines it. It doesn't apologize for its growth. It doesn't seek permission to break through. It simply moves with purpose, driven by an innate understanding that its destiny lies beyond the dark. You too have this seed within. Each moment of discomfort is an opportunity to confront the barriers that limit you, to challenge the niceties that bind you, and to step into the strength that awaits. Embrace this discomfort, for it is the crucible in which your true self is forged. You see, the world applauds the agreeable, those who nod along and blend into the tapestry of sameness, but beneath the veneer of politeness lies a dangerous complacency. It's a seduction of comfort that lulls you into believing that warmth and approval will nurture your spirit. Yet growth is forged in the crucible of challenge, not in the cocoon of comfort. When you surrender your voice for the sake of harmony, you surrender the essence of who you are meant to become. Consider the heroes of your own stories. They are not defined by their ability to please, but by their courage to disrupt, to question, to stand firm against the tidal wave of conformity. They did not retreat to the safety of acceptance, but walked the path of resistance where real strength is cultivated. Each step they took was a decision, a deliberate choice to carve out their destiny. It is this self-made path that shapes the fabric of their lives, woven with purpose and conviction. Now, imagine yourself at the entrance to a dark forest. It's unknown, wild, and perhaps a little frightening. But this is where transformation hides, shrouded in mystery, waiting for the brave to venture forth. The system might call you back to the well-trodden paths of comfort, whispering the allure of safety in your ear. Yet within the shadows lies the power of your own story waiting to be written. Will you step forward, casting aside the chains of niceness, to embrace the raw, untamed power of your true potential? It's a seduction of comfort that weaves a web around your potential, whispering that the path of least resistance is the one to follow. Yet deep inside, there's a flicker of discontent, a quiet rebellion against the mediocrity that disguises itself as success. This struggle is not just yours, it's a universal conflict between the easy road and the fulfilling one. The system thrives on your willingness to settle, rewarding submission with fleeting approval. But look closely and you'll see that this acceptance is merely a mirage, vanishing as soon as you reach for more. The truth is, real growth begins where comfort ends. It is in those moments of unease and uncertainty when the ground feels unsteady beneath you that you find the strength to become more. Embrace the discomfort, for it is the proving ground of the soul. The fire of challenge is where your clarity, confrontation, and conviction are forged. Purpose and decision, not passive niceness or blind obedience, are the architects of your destiny. This is your call to step beyond the shadow of the familiar and into the light of your true potential. That flicker of discontent is the ember of your true power, yearning to break free from the chains of conformity. The system thrives on your obedience, rewarding the nice with fleeting comfort, while the rebellious spirit within you is left to starve. But comfort is a deceptive ally, leading you to a stagnant pool where dreams drown in its placid waters. In the depths of your soul, you know that the greatest growth emerges from the soil of discomfort, where roots must push against the earth to reach the nourishing light. To awaken this dormant strength, you must confront the illusions woven by a world that preaches niceness as if it were a virtue. Niceness is not synonymous with kindness. It is a mask that hides the truth of your aspirations. The path to transformation demands more than passive acceptance. It calls for fierce clarity, for the courage to stand tall and say no to the lies that bind you. It is a call to forge your purpose with conviction, to decide to be more than you have been, shaping your destiny with the tools of your own making. Genuine transformation demands you step into discomfort. The system, a relentless architect of mediocrity, seeks to lull you into complacency with rewards for niceness, deterring the audacious heart from its true path. But in the crucible of challenge, you will find the raw, unrefined strength that propels you toward untapped potential. It's here in the quiet chaos of unease that you begin to forge your destiny, not through talent or luck, but through the clear, unyielding conviction of purpose. Picture yourself standing at the edge of certainty, where the known world ends and the vast unknown stretches wide before you. This is where clarity becomes your compass and conviction your fuel. Will you in this moment allow the fear of discomfort to pull you back into the suffocating arms of the familiar? Or will you confront it wielding purpose as your shield, daring to step forward into the life that calls you, a life not dictated by the system's whispers, but by your own roaring truth? Picture yourself standing on the precipice of your own life, the wind of possibility roaring in your ears. The system whispers sweet lies, urging you to retreat to safety, to be nice, to conform. Yet deep within, there's a voice, a hushed but unyielding call, demanding you confront the reality of your untapped potential. It reminds you that true growth begins not where it's comfortable, but where it feels like the ground beneath your feet might crumble. This is the arena where dreams are forged. In this space between comfort and courage, you hear the echo of all that could be. It tells you that niceness often masks a fear of confrontation, a reluctance to disturb the waters of certainty. But real strength blooms when you dare to question the confines of the expected, when you stand firm in the face of the system's gentle chains. Purpose is not found in the shadow of the herd. It's carved from the rock of conviction, shaped by the chisel of decisive action, and it demands you rise now. You feel the pull of a deeper truth within you. The whispers of the system grow faint as your heart beats with a raw and unyielding purpose. Remember the times you've been told to wait, to blend in, to be satisfied with the status quo. These lies are the chains that bind your potential, not the keys to your freedom. True transformation demands that you step into the discomfort, confront the uncertainty, and embrace the struggle. This is the crucible where strength is forged. In this place of vulnerability, you are not weak. You are alive. It is here at the edge of comfort that clarity emerges. Your dreams are not mere fantasies. They are the compass guiding you through the storm of doubt. Decide now to cast aside the mask of niceness and rise with conviction. Your destiny is not crafted by the whims of luck or the illusion of talent, but by the power of your choices. Stand firm and let the unwavering resolve within you carve a path through the fog, leading you toward the life you are destined to live. Remember the weight of expectation pressing upon you, the soft chains of conformity urging you to remain meek and agreeable. But beneath the surface, a storm brews in your veins, a primal call to ascend beyond the static safety of mediocrity. You stand at the pivotal juncture of self-discovery, where discomfort births true transformation. This is where the system falters, for it underestimates the power of your will, your resolve to step boldly into the fierceness of your own potential.